Hello, everyone. I see so many of you already hopping on, so welcome to the broadcast. We're excited to have you here. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Sam. Hello, Kathy. So excited to see some of you already popping into that chat box. So make sure to say hi. Let us know that you're here. That chat box is open. Hello, Carl and Shirley and Basil, and everyone else hopping on. We are so excited to have you all today. We are getting started in just about 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Get settled in. Make sure you have that chat box open because there's a lot to cover today. Hello again, everyone. I do see quite a few of you are on the live stream webpage. So just a reminder, while the live stream webpage will allow you to view today's event, the most interactive ability, the ability to do that Q&A live, the best resolution and viewing, and most community piece is to be watching, viewing YouTube. So if you're on the live stream page, head on over to YouTube now. Right at the top of the page, there is an option that says how to watch and subscribe on YouTube. So you can use that. It'll direct you all the way over there. I do recommend heading over there now because we are getting started in just a few minutes. Well, officially, welcome everyone to our broadcast. We are so excited to have you all here with us on this event today. Now, as a reminder, there are 3 ways to watch. If you are on the live stream page, that does allow you to view. It doesn't have as much interactive ability, so we highly recommend heading on over to Facebook or YouTube. YouTube is certainly the most recommended, best resolution, best ability to comment and ask questions throughout the event. So head on over there now. And one of the reasons you want to make sure you're connected on Facebook and YouTube is because we do a kit giveaway, but you have to like the Facebook page and be subscribed on our YouTube page, as well as commenting live during the events like today's broadcast. So get those fingers ready, start getting connected in that comment box, ask your questions, give your feedback, and let us know how you're doing throughout the event today. Now, I know you've seen the invites to today's event is all about epic habits and routines of winners. Now, I love the word epic, and I know when I see that, there are great things to follow. It's often interchangeable with words like impressive, remarkable, ambitious, and who doesn't want habits like that? And who better to cover those than our experts here? So I would like to welcome into the call today, Ryan and Kendra Maddock.
Thank you so much, Heather, and welcome everyone to the June broadcast. We're kicking summer off with a big bang. And I just want to mention when we were starting to plan the June broadcast, I got really excited because I don't like, not to give away too much of the process, but some of the imagery gets done pretty early. And this image that you see on your screen today really excited me because there just has so much strength behind it. And it really conveys the thought of someone who's successful and powerful. And it made me excited because it was kind of bringing to mind what we're going to be able to bring to you guys. And it always seems like there's those people in specific industries or backgrounds or whatever, that always seem to rise to the top, right, Ryan? They're always
Are you talking about
being
me again?
successful. Yeah, always successful. They're just always winning. And let's be honest, we spend a lot of our time trying to figure out what makes them win. Like, what are they doing that we're not doing? I mean, we will listen to podcasts, we'll attend conferences, we'll read articles. So we spend a lot of time as people trying to figure out what are they doing? Like, what can I do to kind of share in that same level of success?
Yeah, well, and we also have a front row seat because for 23 years, not only have we been going out and getting money for people, like we have personal clients, we do personal marketing efforts. So we know how to get in front of people. But the other side is, Kendra, we have a front row seat for we can see every time someone's showing up on the deal board over and over and over again and consistently year after year after year, of course, we're talking to those people. So we know, how did you get in front of those clients? What clients are they? Those kind of things. So we know who's producing the highest results.
Exactly. And so I got excited.
Yeah. So part of what we're going to be doing today is sharing some of the tactics of elite performers, in part because we know how to sell ourselves, and in part, Kendra, like I was just saying, because we're talking to people all the time. But Kendra, there's another side to it, and that is that we want to hear from our partners, and that is really part of this call, and we're trying to push that more and more, and there's a reason for that.
We've been doing this now for, I don't know, ever since we kind of merged into this new broadcast. We call it new, but this broadcast format, we've been doing these types of calls in any number of different variations for about 20 some odd years. But when we moved into the broadcast format, we really wanted to encourage every single one of you to become a network, to become a group, to become a team. And we are a network of like-minded individuals. We're all out there doing the same thing. And we want to use this as an opportunity to learn from each other, to build from each other. And it's a great opportunity, not only for us as each individuals, but for us as an organization.
Yeah, because this is an example. We can interact right here. So John says, tactics for new agents are great to know. Well, here's the cool part. John, everyone on this broadcast right now was a new agent at some point.
Exactly.
And the other thing I love about our community, Kendra, is that it, for the most part, lacks a selfishness. Like you would think, I remember, I think it was last year, we had Bev and her partner on, and they were sharing, maybe it was like 3 years ago. Bev, I'm sorry, I'm probably way off on timeline. But I remember we did a panel discussion. We had you as part of that. And what we find is that people are willing to show up and share with other people what's working, what's going on, how they got started. So John, stay tuned. That's exactly what we're going to do. It doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you've been doing this for, some of the people on here have been on for 18, 19 years.
Longer than I've been a part of GMG.
Yeah.
Some
and,
of them.
they're going to share. We're all going to share. And that's part of this platform. So, I want you in there doing that. So,
I think that brings us to our first topic.
Absolutely. So, understanding as we enter summer, Kendra, I think some people don't understand. They think of us like a tax company and they don't understand the cycle of things. So I want to spend just a few talking through that side of things.
Kind of like where we're at right now, if you will.
Oh, your camera's gone. Well, I'm going to exit the stage.
Oh, man. I don't like that camera.
I think it just went
I'm going to keep rolling.
Yeah.
So this image that you see is a partial image of one that I've used multiple times in the past. And it's because it really conveys something that I'm trying to hit home today. So those advisors who've been around forever, partners, you know what I'm about to say. What this image is it shows that first quarter of the year. So like between January and April 30th, you'll see it's like a brick about this big. It shows how busy we were. And it shows like we had a great increase. We were super busy. We were really productive. Many of you partners actually made your most commission ever during this time period just passed. So congratulations on that. And then you see the box next to it, and that's where we're at right now. And you'll see it's dropped back down. It's real slow. Like this is activity, historic activity in the company. So that's May, 1st through July 31st. And even though we're historically slow, as the image shows, that doesn't mean that you get to slow down, right, Ryan?
Yeah. And I want you to understand too, just because you see this January 1st block right here, I hope you get that this is income, by the way. Historic income, it's pretty much the same every quarter, although we grow. The proportions for the year stay the same. But understand, Kendra, when they see activity January through April, it doesn't come about because someone woke up like March 1st and just said, I think I'm going to go talk to a car dealership.
Right.
Of course, you can do that, and a portion of those will close, but a large portion of this revenue is conversations that took place in August. They took place in November and December. So understand that just because that's when our largest revenue comes in, let me put it to you another way. You sign up TMS clients every single day, right? You go out there June 5th and you sign up a TMS client. You might remember our sales cycle. We're going to do cost seg at first, like week 1. And you're going to see that in there, and that will show up in that May 1st through June, whatever, because you brought in a new TMS client. But then a few months later, we're going to get them some payroll credits. A few months after that, we're going to get them some WOTC credits. Around the beginning of the year, what's going to happen is maybe their R&D tax credits, some of the others start to hit. So understand, this isn't like our proportional signups. This is proportional revenue. But that activity, Kendra, comes from doing activity all year long. I don't want to belabor that point, but I want everybody to understand that.
It needed to be said.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings us to where our clients are. So that's where we're at, but this is where our clients are right now. The majority of our clients owe taxes for 2023, and they owed during tax season, but do you think they just paid and said, here you go, IRS, thanks so much for working with me, and moved on? No, most of them didn't have the money to be able to just pay that bill and move on. They extended, which means that they moved their tax obligation out to fall time. That's September or October. So they pushed that weighty obligation out, not really knowing how they were going to be able to take care of that. And I'm going to take over for Ryan because he's still going. That leaves us in a situation that we've been talking about for months because it's not changing. It's only continuing at the same rate, Ryan. And that would be?
Yeah. That would be, sorry. Apparently, Kendra, you and I did a walkthrough at like 8 o'clock this morning, and I left the cameras on. And they're both, yeah. So we're going to be a one-on-one
today, guys.
1.5. So whatever. I'm sure nobody cares. So understand, and we've been talking about this all year. I don't underestimate the cash flow crisis that's going on with American businesses right now. And you might say, wow, I've been on 5 broadcasts. Ryan and Kendra have talked about that 3 times. You have to understand that cash flow is the main driver motivation that will bring clients to the table and keep them here year after year after year. Is one, they will go with you because they need cash flow, and they will stay with you because, and I want you to get ready for this. Normally I would like zoom in, but I can't. They would stay with you because they get, you ready for this? Addicted to the cash flow. Once you start providing quarterly revenue to a client via like the WOTC program or some of the other programs, they get addicted to that money. And it's just like any other profession. Like if an employee makes this much and that's what their household expenses are, and then they get a raise, well, within 3 or 4 months of getting that raise, they become addicted to that money and they can't live without it because they've increased their lifestyle, their expenses. Right. Business owners are no different, Kendra. They get addicted to this cash flow. And so when it's taken from them, when all of a sudden PPP's gone and they've exhausted ERC and all these others, they've gotten addicted over the last 5 years to getting free money from the government. And now all of a sudden they don't know that there's an avenue for it. Okay. And this is going to get compoundedly worse in the coming months.
Right. Which leads us to fall, because ultimately that's what we're looking at from today's standpoint. It's going to bring us into a time position where it's time for them to pay up. And they literally just don't have the ability to. If you think that between now and this point, they're going to suddenly come into some kind of situation where they have all of this cash flow, I doubt it. And if we think that their obligations are somehow going to ease up, no, their payroll is going to be the same. They're going to have the same, if not more, issues with, ordering and things like that. And inflation isn't going to, I doubt it's going to go away between now and fall.
No.
It's only going to become an increased problem. So it leaves us with, okay, so what does all that mean? Where are we at right now? And I wanted you guys to see what we're looking at for fall. So the image that you can see on your screen right now shows all of the tax deadlines. And obviously we've crossed out all of the ones that were initial filing deadlines because we're well past that. And a lot of people, like I mentioned, the majority of our clients actually extended, which pushes us out to like mid-September through November as actual filing dates. Every single one of our potential clients that owed and extended are going to experience this final deadline. And the IRS isn't super nice. They don't say, oh, okay, you can have another extension. No, this is it for the year. Like you have to do something or you start ending up getting penalties and things of that nature. So between September 16th, October 15th, and November 15th, dependent on the structure of their business, they are going to have made a decision and come to some type of situation.
Many of these people are in multiple of those categories because maybe they've got a business practice that is an LLC and then they've got their property and S corp or vice versa. And so the point that I want you to understand there, and by the way, I see some questions coming in. Keep doing that. In a little bit, we're going to go through some Q&A. We've got some points we're going to fly through, but pour in your questions. Elizabeth, I see yours and it plays into our topic right now, but I would just want to take it in a little bit. But the point that I want you to understand is that business owners for the next few months are just kind of bombarded because maybe on this rental property they're getting hit August 15th. Then their general practice, they filed an extension until September 15th. But on their core of their business, they're October 15th. The point is, Kendra, there is no break from this.
Right.
They're just getting hit over and over and over again.
It's overwhelming. And I want to ask the question I asked a few moments ago and let that really sink in. Do you think that they have suddenly come into some situation between now and then magically that's going to allow them access to immediate cash? And the answer is no. Unfortunately, it's just not something that happens very often. They're not having someone leave them tons of money. They're not winning the lottery. They're not selling their business with, tons of cash. They need you. That's what the situation is. They need you because you have access to immediate cash, and that is what they need.
Yeah, but you've got to remind them that you exist in the first place. And here's why. So when we talked about this earlier, remember all that activity that you're seeing there, a lot of it comes because at the beginning of the year, before that, you went out there and talked to the clients. That's what drives. But Kendra, this is not representative of our busiest part of the year. Let's show the rest of this chart here.
Right.
Now, Kendra, I'm stealing your point here. This is not just 2023's year. This is we've been doing this 23 years. This is every year. This is proportionally what it looks like. And I want you to see there, the quarter that we're entering post-summer, this is our largest. So you think, oh, you're a tax business. April 15th, that's where all your money is. No. Between August 1st and October 30th, it actually goes into November a little bit, but let's just say that window right there, that is where the real money comes in. That's where it pours in. That people have to understand. And
if you can see that, I know it's a poor image because it's black and white, but you can see our income substantially, it doubles just about during that time period compared to what we did for tax season. And so those of you who did make their records this year, we have a lot of you, especially we've got so many new partners. Think about what you did for tax season. Think about what that could mean for you coming up this next season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, understand that during this time period, what you can do, you ready for it? There's one word. Okay, so someone asked earlier, what are agents doing? What are highly successful agents doing? Let me tell you, I got one word. It's 3 syllables. We're going to play charades. Vacation. Okay, just shut down. Don't do anything during this time period.
No.
Okay. I'm obviously being sarcastic.
No, that's not actually what we think you should do. We need, that's not true, because the conversation and the activity that you're doing right now, that is what's going to build you in and make you a part of the surge that's going to happen between August and
You got to
October.
bring TMS signups, tax management system, just in case anybody's brand new. Right. You got to bring TMS signups in now during the summer. Why? Because starting August 1st, this is when the big money billables happen.
Right.
Okay, so if you bring in a client in October, then yeah, they're going to be part of that next cycle where really we're hitting by the time we get them money. But you don't want them to miss out on some of the money that's going to happen starting August 1st. So you got to go get them signed up right now.
I can hear some people are like kind of scared. They're like, oh, wait, like I'm not expecting you, and neither is Ryan, expecting you to go out there and work 60 hours a week through the summer. It's summertime. We understand that we kind of all tend to scale back a little bit in the summertime, but this is not magically going to happen if you're out there on the boat all day long or at the beach
Just
every
be on
day.
the boat half the day long.
Just half the day. It's
Yeah.
going to happen. This will happen for you if you put in some of the time throughout the summertime. And that's what we're asking for, is that dedication for some of your time. Now, why is summer so important? And I think you guys have all got the answer to this question so far, hopefully. But if not, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Now through mid-August is going to be your foundational time to reach those clients that are going to build your income for what? For August? No, for the rest of the year and into next year. I'll say that again. The rest of the year and into next year, your income depends on what you do this summer. So I'm going to ask you a question. Would you put everything off that we're talking about today for the summer because it's summertime, if I told you you could double or triple your income for the rest of the year? No? I'm seeing no's. No, of course not. Of course you wouldn't. You would take the time, you would get in there, and you would do it. And that's the point that we're at right now. And I'm going to jump over. I think, Ryan, you're taking over from that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to point out, and we've got, I think, 4 of these today. The first tactic of elite performers that I want you to understand is that they are, boy, I'm just a bundle of technical joys today.
I'm never better
There we
than
go.
Ryan on the broadcast, and I'm so better today.
Well, I'm having to get up and fix everything.
I'm
so,
teasing.
so the first one that I want to point out is that they're always talking about
Right.
it. Okay. And here's the thing. Always is a couple different aspects. One is I'm talking all year long, but I'm also talking about all the time. They're at the grocery store, every partnership they run into, any coffee meeting they have, they're always talking about it. So, John, back to your question earlier of some tips, and we're going to get into other people sharing in a minute, but I want to let you know, when I talk to people and I ask, hey, what are you doing? What's working? When I interview someone, one of the things they hear most consistent is that they are always talking about it.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. So I know some of you are like, but Kendra, or Ryan, I am always talking about, I'm sending my emails, I'm posting my social posts, I'm following up with the messages that I want to leave. But that's not what we're talking about it. When we say always talking about it, we mean what Ryan just said, literally always in your daily conversations. Are you looking for opportunities to bring this into conversations that you're naturally happening in the course of your day with your neighbors, with your relatives, with your friends, with your business partners, with your colleagues, and with potential clients who could be any business owner in your community? Think about that. So what if you're over here doing just the tasks every day and then you leave that and you no longer are that person? You can't do that. It has to be daily conversations, and it needs to be natural and kind of pull in and be a part of that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to share in a minute, but before I do, this is one of those parts where we want to hear from you, okay? And I'm going to ask, John's already asked, but I'm going to ask everybody, how did you get your first client? Or how did you get out there and start having dialogues? And I want you to enter those in chat. We're going to share some of those. This is at Giver's Gain. And here's the thing, whether you're brand new or you've been around for a long time, I want you to share those things. In the meantime, Kendra, so we're not sitting dead air, I'm going to share that for me. And Heather, I will attempt. We'll see how long my camera's overheated or being on for the last 6 hours.
I want to add something small. Again, this is your opportunity, like we talked about earlier, the team environment, our network to learn from each other and share your stories. This is your moment. So make sure you get in there and start sharing them, because I'm going to be looking right here.
Yeah. So start sharing how you got in front of your first client. I'll do the same. When I was first getting started 23 years ago, getting out there, my very first client was actually, my first clients were cost seg clients. And I would go out there and just let people know that there were federal programs available because they owned a commercial property. And then I did what was called the survey. It's later went on to become .me. But actually, I want to move past that and talk for a minute about how I got my first real network of clients, because what I really learned is instead of getting one client at a time, I could really go after, large clusters of clients. So what I did is I went out there after manufacturers. And what I would do is I would go out to a manufacturing park and I would walk in and ask for the CFO or the controller, that kind of thing. And they would ask, what is this regarding at the front desk? And I would always say the property taxes. I'm just telling you what I would do. So I'd walk in and say, hi, can I speak with the CFO or the controller? And they would say, what is this regarding? And I would say the property taxes. I got to tell you, I never, ever, ever got questioned on this, because there's nothing less salesy than going in and talking about property taxes. And so no one ever would assume, because I said, and I would just respond, what's this regarding? The property taxes. Same thing when I would do calling. I would call and say, can I speak with Mike? What's this in regards to? The property taxes. If you say it like that, it's just going to get you right through. And then what would happen is, now this was 20 years ago, so they would come out to the front counter and I would hand them a card, and I would hand them one of our marketing slicks that we, for those of you, many of you have seen us, Bud kind of featured a couple months ago on those. We still produce those. I would produce one of those. I would introduce myself, and I would immediately tell them that I didn't have time to talk today. This is just my tactic, by the way. I hope you're blowing up the chat right now with your story, because I want to share some of those. This was just mine. So I would say, they would say, because they're puzzled. It's property taxes. Can I help you with something? Yeah, I only have a minute right now, because I have an appointment next door at XYZ, and I would name the neighbor. And so I only have a moment right now. I actually just wanted to set up an appointment. I didn't try to pitch them. I didn't try to talk to them. I didn't try to, so again, they come out, they're puzzled. Hi, I'm Mike. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm actually just wanting to set up an appointment. I've only got a few minutes right now, so I can't really talk about it, because I've got an appointment over at XYZ, working with XYZ Manufacturing on a project, whatever dialogue you want to use there. And so I just wanted to set up an appointment. They'd say, what is it that you do? Reach into my bag. I would give them a slick, and say, I help manufacturers find tax incentives. That's it. And then from there, they would say, what kind of tax incentives? Well, as a manufacturer, most companies are going to qualify for something for the facility. I mentioned property taxes. We find most manufacturers in this area are overpaying on their property taxes. And then there's some large payroll credits that are available for tax incentive, or for manufacturers. And so I would go through that process, and before I knew it, I had my paper survey out, and I was filling that out. Now, if I were modernly translating that, oh, and by the way, I got to keep going on that story. So they will beg you, and you just say, okay, I only have a moment right now, that kind of thing. And you fill out the survey, and then you set up the next appointment. Okay, don't give them what they want right then. This was back then, because we didn't have .me. We didn't have the websites. And then I would walk into XYZ Manufacturing. Remember them? And I would walk over and I would say, can I speak to whoever's in charge of the property taxes? Okay. And what's this regarding? The property taxes. And then Joe would come out. Hey, Joe, Ryan Maddock here. I'm running late I was just at your neighbor's ABC Manufacturing. I'm working with them on a project, blah, 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 blah. I actually just wanted to set up an appointment with you. What's this about? Oh, we help manufacturers find specialized tax incentives. What kind of, you get the point. It just goes over and over again. I would just go to a manufacturing park and just literally go like this over and over and over and over again. And some might think, okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. Was it dishonest to the first one? The only thing I can say is I was 20 years younger than I am right now, because the very first one I did, I said I was working with the next one. But every manufacturer that I visited after that, Kendra, I was telling the truth, because I had done, those other ones. But so don't hit me in the comments of like, that's it. I don't know what to tell you. It's what I did. I'm being honest with you. So I did that. I'll give you one more because I see some good. Kendra, you have some good stories.
A lot, yeah.
So I'll give you one more. I found one of the easiest ways back in the day to get cost seg clients, Kendra, was I would go in. I just put you on camera, by the way. So I would go in. And you might remember this because you were here for part of this because I drug you on some of these appointments. We'd go look at office space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We were looking for office space, though. That's not a lie.
But even after we had found our office space, we would keep looking.
Because the first thing they ask you is, well, what kind of business do you do? Like, what do you do for people? And we say, oh, well, like businesses,
we help commercial properties
like this one, properties like this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And
We have a lot of clients
we
like
help
that.
commercial properties find tax incentives. What kind of tax incentives? Well, anyone that owns a building owns. Would someone like me qualify? Okay, and that's how we would just get out there. Now, what happened is, I'll tell you daisy chain wise. So you go out there and you get all of a sudden you've gotten 7 manufacturers to do surveys, the equivalent of .me sign up, TMS signups. Now all 7 of those have CPAs, and then you look at 3 or 4 rental spaces and they all own their building and you do cost segs for all 3 of them and you're delivering reports. I would go out when reports came in and I would go over it with the CPA. Now, 23 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. So I had no right to go over this with the CPA, but I would just drop it off, ask them if they had questions, go over, and they always had questions. Here's the question. So why do they qualify? Well, because they're a manufacturer and they have paper, because they own a building, that kind of thing. And then the CPAs say, you ready for this? Would my other clients qualify? And I would say, I don't know. Do you have any other manufacturers? Do you have any other people that own buildings? I would go through that. Now, you might say, why not just go to the CPA directly? Maybe you're a better salesperson than I am. And honestly, when you're on Jason's calls, he'll tell you how to do this, and he's better at it than I am. There's nothing wrong with that. For me personally, when I would go pitch a CPA, I felt like it was an uphill battle. But when I took a report to a CPA and said, hey, I'm working with ABC manufacturer, we found this payroll credit, all the threat is gone and they would just invite you in. So Kendra, what happened within my first 5 months of doing that, I had to open an office. We had to take up one of those offices. I had to open just a sales office, and we hired our first 5 salespeople under me. You remember that back in the day. And it wasn't long. Kendra, you might remember over in Corona, we had 43 salespeople working directly under me. Now, the reason why was because every client I got led to 5, 6 more clients. I got overwhelmed. And then the clients, they are the people we brought in. This was before an advisor model. Right. And this was our first advisor model because before I knew it, we walked out one day, and you can remember that bill. It was a row of cubicles. We had 43 salespeople that worked under me because I would just go to these. I would get a business, and then that would lead to a CPA. And I'm sorry to keep sharing, but then what would happen is I would talk to a restaurant, and Kendra, that restaurant would say, we're doing a new add-on. And I'd say, who's your contractor? And they would say, ABC contractor. And then I would go meet with ABC. I'd say, can you tell me about the project? Did I need to know about the project? No, I didn't need to know about the project. Well, they would say, well, what is it that you're working with Joe on? Well, we found some tax credits. What kind of tax credits?
Right.
And all of a sudden, wrong camera. Heather was on it. All of a sudden, now I've got a general contractor that would, go through and give me 40, 50 clients in his book. And then one of those properties would be in the process of selling, and I would go out and meet with a realtor. And I would say, hey, I want to talk to you about the transaction that you're doing. Can you tell me how much did they pay? How much that was allocated? Did I need to know any of that? No. It was an excuse to have a coffee meeting with a realtor. Because you know what the realtor would have? The realtor would have hundreds. And that led to me landing an entire region, I won't say which one, of Keller Williams Commercial Realty, where we did a national or regional partner, sorry, not national, a regional partnership with them. Okay, I'm done bragging, I guess, but this was all the start of what would later become the partnership model, because I'm telling you, like, this is how, and that wasn't like all a big thing to tell you, go get partners. You should go get partners working with you or under you. I'll probably get hammered for that language. I had to, Because at the end of the day, when you have trillions of dollars to hand out, there's not enough hours in the day. And I quickly realized that, to the point that I rented space. Now, you don't have to do that anymore because we live in a different age, but I rented space, had phone lines, cubicles, 43 people under me that were all just selling and out there. And at one point I had salaried 43 people. And then it got to the point where we had thousands, and that's not sustainable to, or needed to, have a building and do that. So that's how I got started. It went from my first drop by in a manufacturing park where I didn't have a manufacturing client to rub my, so you might say, well, I can't do that because neither did I. I didn't have a client either. I saw a logo over there and I saw a logo over there. When I talked to this guy, I used that logo. Maybe that was wrong. When I talked to this guy, I rightfully used that logo. And then before I do it, I could name 4 people in the park. And then I would move on to a new one and over and over. So that was my methodology. Now, that was 20 years ago. That's like dinosaur age. Kendra, I'd like to hear from some people on what's going on now.
Denise did great. Like I mentioned, one of this as one of the contacts you should be talking to. She talked to family, and she told them what she was doing. That. Asked for referrals. Why not? Hello, who's going to help you if your family's not? Well, it depends on who's got what family. So, yeah. But she said her cousin was an enrolled agent. Asked her to see if this could benefit any of her clients. That's perfect. Kurt basically just contacted somebody he had a history with, and that was who his first client.
Hey, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, or I see the Facebook stream. It's just comedy. The Facebook stream's not working today. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube if you're on YouTube. If you're getting value from this content. I sound like a YouTuber when I say this. And hit the subscribe button.
Hit the thumbs up.
Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Yeah. So thumbs up this video if you're getting value. Hit the subscribe button.
Shirley says
that way our content shows up more for you.
Sorry. Shirley was his patient. So some type of doctor-patient relationship. Amazing opportunity to bring it up. I have like 5 doctors. Do you think that I've talked to them about? Yep, absolutely. The ones who own their buildings are clients. So it just works out that way. Don't know that the actual name, but this one is partnering with a financial advisor, referral of clients.
Oh, yeah. Right there. I got to pause on that one. I love that. You go out there. I mean, most financial advisors, I'm going to do tears for a minute, and someone's going to say MLM, but it's just the way financial institutes work. So they're either like right here in the scheme of things, and they have an FMO or one of the other 3-letter acronyms that financials use. Or, they've got a carrier, they've got, partnerships, or they are an FMO and they have a ton of agents that they work with. So a lot of times going and partnering with one financial advisor, this is going to lead to hundreds of, partnerships and relationships. And that can go one of a couple of ways. You can either bring them in as partners. And again, that's not, Kendra, I didn't even have an intent on talking about that today, but that's one method. Or you could be Superman, put on your cape, and, get your website ready and have them all distributed and figure out a way to share the wealth with them. It doesn't really matter because either way is going to lead to thousands and thousands of clients. Mm-hmm. More work than you could ever handle on your own.
Noel's been around for a while. I remember when he came on board years ago, and he did his first cost-seg client was at a chamber meeting. I remember when chamber and networking was huge for cost-seg. And it's so funny because Noelle, I know her name now. Your guys' comments came in at the same time. I had to look twice. She's doing great. She's newer. She started with Friends in Business, asked them if they took advantage of PPP or ERC, which is one of our newer scriptings because it always leads into conversation.
Before you keep going, I'm going to go back to Noel. So when I was first getting started, also, once I started like kind of ramping up and I had a base of clients, I would go out there, chamber, business development options, and everything, and I became Ryan the tax guy. Okay. And not in knowledge, in like, I'll tell you what. Oh, this is bad. I'm going to get hammered for this comment. Listen, once people know you can get tax credits, you'll get passed around a cocktail party quicker than you fill in the blank. So once people do, you literally will get drug around the room and introduced over and over and over again. You will not have to beg for work because all of a sudden you're Ryan the tax guy, you're Bev the tax gal. Not in knowledge. Here's the thing. Nobody cares about the knowledge. What they care about is you're the person that has access to the wallet. Okay? And once that happens, you will literally get drug around the room and you'll get business development, I can't remember, like the Michigan Development Authority, things like that. They'll say, oh, we can't endorse anyone. You don't need to be endorsed. All you need to do is show up at the meetings and become Ryan the tax guy.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Well, you start a dialogue and you get a survey filled out for one, and now you have a client. Okay? That was easy. Now you talk to other person at said mixer and say, yeah, I work with manufacturers. Da, da. Okay, you don't have to like work hard here because you get to lean into the experience of everyone else. Noel's sales are your sales. We're all part of the same organization. So if Noel does a hotel chain, you've done a hotel chain. You realize that, right? That's the beauty. And it works for Noel too, because I have done just literally hundreds and hundreds of Ford dealerships and Cadillac dealerships. You've done hundreds of Cadillac, and so you get to lean into those logos and those experiences that are there.
I wanted to put Victor's up because it's the same thing. He was at a chamber meeting, did a 30-second intro, and got questions afterwards. John says he just asks, "How was your taxes from last year?" That's a great door opener.
I like it.
Talked to an owner of one of my favorite restaurants. Love it. That is exactly what we're talking about when we say have those daily conversations. Be always talking about it. You're not off work. You're never off the clock. This is something that needs to become a part of your daily conversation. It's another networking group, and they met afterwards. Her Aflac client was her first one. It was during COVID. That was great. I remember that, Denise. You did an amazing job. Stranger at a post office on a Saturday. That's perfect. That's that impromptu, informal, the best way you can approach a client, talking about it all the time. So you're getting a little bit further up.
Heather, the two wing cameras are both overheated, so don't even bother. So,
I think this one.
and why didn't you come in the studio, Heather, and shut them down?
George said he met with a friend that owns a private international school. George is on fire right now.
Yeah.
Says he owns his own building, has 40 employees, has no clue about the tax credits. We should have him signed up later today. And when George says somebody's going to sign up later today, they sign up later today.
George is a good example, though. George has so much business.
Yeah.
If I can tell your business a little bit, George, George has an entire network of partners that are working with him. And he's actually reassigned clients and to other partners because he has so much business that he doesn't have to worry about it. Like there's just, it's that giver's gain mentality of let me get Mike going. I want to get him some clients and things like that. So George, you're approaching things in such the perfect way, and Kurt, you are as well.
I have one more I want to share. Yeah. Denise is amazing. Denise has been around for some time too. And this is I want to just send you some chocolate for doing this because it makes me know that you guys are using the things that we provide. It makes me so happy. She says recently she went to an income property expo. She took her iPad and would just show them the numbers on her .me page. Guys, you see, she took her iPad and was like, here, let me punch in. Okay, what that? No, okay, here, look. And how can you and then she put in their email address and she said she was going to send them the info. The info is sent. And even if they didn't follow through at that moment, she's got an amazing lead that she gets to follow up with at that point. They've seen her in person. They know who she is. She showed them the numbers. That's an amazing opportunity. Denise, I'm so proud of you right now. And this is the type of things. The reason I'm excited is because I know these things happen because I see the deals Denise turns in. But knowing that she's sharing it with you guys, that's what makes me so excited because you can see how simple this is. I can see her walking in her little power suit with her iPad in her hand, and she owned it that day.
Yeah.
And every single one of you can do the same things. If you think a little outside of the box like Denise did, I bet she could clean up that day. So
I do see some questions. Kendra, while you're looking for the next, I do see some questions on partners and getting more partners and things. Let me say again, that wasn't my intent. I was sharing how I went about things. However, I know that there's a call tomorrow, so look for the invite for that. It's been going out for the last week. You're going to want to attend that. If you haven't seen your invite, reach out to support. But there's a call tomorrow where Jason's actually going to be going through that content. And again, it's not, that wasn't my intent. My intent was to teach you via myself and other people how I've gotten clients. But, as part of that, the way I've gotten clients is through having a lot of partners. And you should be doing that too. So show up we're not going to cover too much of that. If you want to hear more about that, be on the call tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you don't know what I'm talking about, reach out to support. and they'll get you connected with that. So Kendra, keep going there.
Thanks for your guys' feedback. I pulled out all of the big ones, and I think we do have some things that we want to keep getting to. But if something comes to mind and you want to add it to it, make sure to kind of throw it in there. I'll try to keep reading through and seeing more. When Ryan was telling his story, you guys, we've had a lot of questions. Where do I find this survey? This is 20 years ago. These things don't exist anymore. We no longer have a paper survey.
The survey is the .me website. I wish I had. You got to understand, the reason I had to have 43 people is because I'd go out in the field and I'd fill out paper surveys, and then I would drop them off to Kendra's office, and she had a team of processors. And we would
come in every morning because these guys they'd work all different hours, just whenever. And I would come in and there'd be a stack there of these 2-ply because they had given the third one to the person that I had to go through, and we had to process them manually. So
Kendra got the white copy, client got the pink.
So all the questions about where do I find the survey? Things have come along, and your survey is now your .me
And then
page.
what she had to do is in software we built, her and her processing team would have to enter those survey values, go out and do local, state, and federal searches. You remember those?
Yes.
And then you'd put together a report. Now, it was templated, but it still took hours to do each one. And then we would have to go out for a second appointment and do a savings summary. Okay, you guys have no idea. What you do is you tell your client, this is how this goes. So, hey, Kendra, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Great, I see your laptop there. Can you go to this site? Or here's my iPad. And you go this, and boom, it just builds it.
Technology, people, we've come a long way.
So you can do things differently. So no, there's no paper survey. That's just when I was getting started.
I do want to say we do use a lot of acronyms. We do have a lot of new partners. So I apologize for that because it can seem like we're a group and you're on the outside.
What do I use besides TMS?
So .me page.
Oh yeah, your website.
Your website, your GFG.me. It's that main one that we take you to, and it does that calculation. When we say your .me page, that's what we're talking about. You also have several other landing pages that will pull in and direct your potential clients to the .me page, but that's what we mean when we say that's your landing page.
Heather, share my laptop for a moment. Let's take a moment to see, since this is how did you get your first client, let me show you how to get your first client, because having the dialogue is part of that. Heather, is my laptop still sharing? No, she says no. Okay, so 1 second. I'm going to do that. Boy, this is just like a bundle of technology today. I love it. Not. Okay, so I'm on the marketing toolbox, and as part of that, you'll see verbal scripts, SMS scripts. This tells you what to say. And then there's email templates. This tells you what to send. Now, in any of these scripts, you're going to see your link, and that's your .me page. So here's someone you have a previous relationship with. Kendra, I wish I had this back then. So what you do is you highlight like this. Oh, it's even got my name, my phone number, and everything.
Which,
and
if you haven't been here, I want to virtually reprimand.
Yeah.
Go here. These tools are for you. You newer ones who just come in the last couple weeks. If you haven't been here, get over here. All of this information, like you see that it has Ryan and Arnie. When you go to your page, it's all your information.
So here's
takes them to your page.
Your email. You're going to cut and paste this. When the potential client gets it, they're going to click on this, and this takes them to your .me page. Okay. So this is where they can come in and they can start claiming tax credits. This is the old paper survey that I was talking about. You can go through, and it's going to calculate in real time their R&D tax credit, whatever the case is. So this is your page. Now, the way you drive traffic to your page is either by talking to people, that's verbal scripts, by emailing them, by doing a social post, or by being out there in person. So if you go to your landing pages and you just have this up on your iPad, this is what I did starting in 2016 when we launched this, is I would just be out there on my iPad and I would use one of our landing pages. I really like this one. There's a tax credit for that. It's a video explainer page. There's all kinds of pages. There's cost seg pages, R&D pages. If you don't want to get overwhelmed, just use the general page. But there's a page for everything. Kendra, for those that are in premium, which does cost money per month.
Yeah, and
there's even specialty pages.
Yeah, I want to explain something about premium. Premium takes an investment, an ongoing financial investment from my team to support images and links and things because it is it is more advanced. It is some pretty fancy marketing, and I'm pretty proud of it. And that's why there's a fee to it. I have to be able to offset the costs that we encounter when we're developing those pages. That's all it's for.
So here's a page just for restaurant owners, you know, and it explains what's available. Look, there's an explainer video. This is your video, by the way. It has your name and phone number and everything on it. So now 90% of the toolbox, I don't know the actual portion, is free. Everyone here has it. And I'm not trying to sell you premium right now. I'm telling you that if you see a little crown, that's premium. Premium's $99 a month. Don't, write in and say they're just trying to sell me. No, 90%, I don't know the number, is all free in here. You've got plenty of stuff you can do that's free. But there are some things that cost us money and you share in that expense and that kind of thing. But how do you get your first client?
If I may.
Yeah,
so
sign them up.
George, we mentioned him earlier. He's amazing. This entire group he's working with. Kurt is his partner. Like, these guys are just, like, when I say they're killing it, they're killing it. And I love that Kurt just outed George. He said George has gotten several of our clients at funerals.
Are you a funeral crasher, George?
You know what?
Like, do you go to fake funerals?
But he's the one who is mixing it up, and he's talking to people. He's making everybody feel comfortable. And Kurt's even gotten some while playing poker. I find that amazing. There's never an interaction where they don't bring it up.
Yeah.
So I love it. Like, good job, guys. And if everyone were like you guys, we wouldn't even have to. We could just retire, maybe? I don't know.
No, because I'm greedy. All right, so that's how, Heather, you can drop that off the screen. That's how you go out there and get your first client and kind of go. So I think one of the things we're making a really big part of the broadcast is we want to make sure that you have everything you need to be an elite performer. And we're doing that in a few ways. One is we're providing an open dialogue here where you can ask questions. The other is you can see we're featuring other people, and we want our elite performers to share what they're doing. You can see they're perfectly happy to do that. So that leads me to tactics of elite performer number, Kendra, I think this is 3.
Yeah.
And that
we
is,
do want you to, though, keep adding those questions in.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to keep this dialogue as engaging and as worthwhile as it has been so far.
Tactic number 3 that I want to talk about is that they have a plan and they work that plan. Now, Kendra, this is why we come out with things.
Right. So you all know, even the newer partners, that we spend a lot of time and money and just everything, energy in developing plans for you because they work. But you do have to change it up. It can't be stagnant. It has to be something that's engaging. And so we do that. We do things like action plans, blueprint for success, focus lists. It's not because we have some secret plan to like keep you guys busy. It's because it works. And so knowing that, we just want to make sure that we keep doing that and you guys keep following the plans, because if you do, then you're successful and it pays off. So the time, the money, the energy. I personally spend probably 3/4 of my time every week, every day on overseeing the team that develops all of the marketing stuff for you guys. And it's something that we maintain, we change. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. And we do that because you can be successful when you use it. And when you're successful, we're successful. So it's a selfish goal or reason that we do it. But I think everybody's in this to win. And so it's okay that we're doing it so that you're successful, so that we're successful.
Yeah. So, in an effort to do that, we come out with plans on a regular basis. And we did a version of this last summer, and it was so successful. We decided to bring it back for this summer. And so, Kendra, this is Summer Breeze. Let me be really clear about something. This is free. You don't have to be in premium for it.
Can I give a little bit of background on where it came from? So last year, we were trying to decide what would be best for summertime for everyone. And summertime is about 16 weeks. That's a lot of opportunity for downtime if we don't stay engaged. And summertime absolutely can kind of pull you off track. So we knew that we needed to come up with something that would cover 16 weeks and keep everyone engaged, which seemed like kind of an insurmountable task at the time. But it went so well last year that we're bringing back a version of it for this year.
So tell them a little bit, and you can click through on what it is so that they understand. So first of all, I said it's free.
Yep. You don't have to pay for it. Everything's developed and made. It's ready for you guys. It's a weekly email. You will not find Summer Breeze in your toolbox. You won't find it on any of your sites or anything. This is strictly via email. It comes to you in your email box with about an hour's worth of actual tasks that you have to do. And each week you're going to use the Summer Breeze email to maximize your efforts. Maximize your benefits. Minimal effort, maximum benefit. And that's because we all have to face the fact that the reality is summertime is a slower time. You do have more distractions. We understand that. We want you to be on that beach. We want you to be drinking that margarita.
But we want you to be effective.
Exactly.
So what we're saying is this is about an hour a week where we're going to give you targeted, effective things to do. Now, how do we know which things to do? Well, we just talked about that. For 23 years, we've been doing this. You just heard from other people. They've been doing this. We know how to do this. So we're giving you the activities that are going to have the most bang for the buck, so to speak.
And that's going to set you up to be able to take advantage of the fall tax season. We have to stay engaged and we have to not fall off during the summertime. Otherwise, you won't be as productive as you can be come
You won't be
August,
set up
September.
to capitalize on
And we
what's
would
coming.
be failing in our roles if we didn't make sure that you were ready for that. So that's the entire goal, is to make sure you make money throughout the summertime, but that you're able to capitalize on that fall tax season. And a couple of things, the highlights of Summer Breeze, it's going to have some industry focuses, some service focuses. You're going to have different email templates, different verbal templates, some new social posts or ways to use existing ones in different ways, and some networking opportunities. So it's a mix of everything, but it's minimal effort, maximum results.
Yeah. So again, this is an opt-in situation. You must register. I'll show you how to do that. This is all I can think of. And that's as much as I can do without YouTube cutting us off. But so, yeah, you've got to enroll. It's free, but you have to enroll to participate because we don't want to blow up your email box. And we're going to send one email per week. By the way, I do want to say, if you don't want to keep receiving the emails, there's a way to do that in the email. Don't unsubscribe, because you'll be unsubscribing from broadcasts and everything else.
If you unsubscribe, you literally are done. You like said, Kendra, you're dead to me. I can't send you anything.
No, it just won't even go.
Within your Summer Breeze email at the bottom, there's a like a little link.
If partway through you're like, an hour a week is just too much for me.
That will alert support, and they can pull you off the list. It's that simple.
Let me show you an example of what this is like.
I clicked.
I'm the clicker now. There we go. So this is an example. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in. We're going to give you a goal for the week of what we're doing. But then more importantly, Kendra, we're giving all the assets of, social assets, email templates, scripts, all of the things needed. They might see I'm giving it away a little bit. There's a press release that we're giving you. So you're going to do a big press release in your name. And we're giving all that to you, and it's all customized. You literally don't have to do anything but cut and paste. And so you're going to go through and get this step-by-step what the most productive hour should look like. We recommend you do this Monday mornings, like 8 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever the case is, and crank through. And then, at least do that. Now, should you only work 1 hour a week? No. You should go through and you should nurture and you should follow up on those. But again, all of those are, coming in that process. And so, Kendra, that is really setting people up where they can have a successful, not just summer.
Right. That's why you guys realize why summer is so important. Are you going to make money throughout the summer? Absolutely, if you follow the program. But it sets you up for success come fall tax season and all the way into next year.
A couple of questions. So do we need to sign up? Yes, I'll show that in just a moment. When will it begin? Kendra, I think as soon as they sign, yes, as soon as you enroll, like probably within an hour or so, you'll get your first.
It may be 24 hours actually for it to, because a lot of you will enroll at the same time. So I think I set the delay for the first email. Veterans,
I'm calling on you for this one. Lisa wants to know, can we get help overcoming objections when they get the thanks but no thanks? We've all been there. And for time's sake, veterans, I want you to pipe in. We'll feature a few in a couple of minutes. Lisa, really good question. Go ahead.
Kathy, she was here last summer. So she said, I was accepted before am I in? No. If you were a part of Summer Breeze last year, this is a new program. So you do have to opt in, and we'll show you where to do that in just a moment. So if you're like, oh, I did it last year, it was great.
Yeah.
I'm in. No, this is completely new, completely different.
You're just going to opt in. All you're doing is opting in.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing. You enter your email address. I'll show you how to do it in just a second. First, I want to tell you the last tactic I want to talk about for elite performers. And that is that they complete their training. They understand our services. They attend broadcasts and they work these types of programs. Everybody that you heard pipe in, I know almost everybody personally that we've shared today, and I didn't tell them to pipe in today. They're just who did. I gotta tell you, they show up, they're on the broadcast, they work the programs. And Kendra, without giving away too much, in our next broadcast, we're gonna be doing a mini deep dive. I know it's an oxymoron, right? We're doing a mini deep dive on some of the services, okay? So we're taking the summer to tune up your knowledge. So you're going to want to be on the broadcast. Don't say, oh, it's summer, I don't need to do that. Now, here's how you're going to do this. On your main toolbox page after the broadcast, wait a few minutes. You're going to go over to your page and you're going to enroll. Heather, flip to my laptop for a moment. Let me show you this in live. So I'm on the home page and here it is. And so you got 0 to hero. This is your plan for success. You got Summer Breeze. Guess what? They're both the same page. And so you're going to get here. And before you get to our success action plan, you're going to see Summer Breeze. Enter your email address.
Right there.
What email address, Kendra?
The email address you already use with me. Please don't give me a new one.
Yeah, just use that one.
The regular email address you already use with me.
And then, by the way, if you want an action plan, that's going to email you a weekly. But if you want to go through kind of a get started action plan, earlier you were talking about how do I get clients? This is an action planner here. It is great. It's called a blueprint.
0 to hero blueprint.
Yeah, 0 to hero blueprint. So that is all right on your homepage. And the way that you opt into Summer Breeze, it's your choice. And you're going to do that. Heather, you can flip back to slides.
Bev asked a good question. She says, are the Summer Breeze assets different from what's available already? She said on my paid website, but I assume you're saying your marketing toolbox. Yeah, I utilize some of the same assets you can find in your marketing toolbox, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So the only way to access Summer Breeze is to sign up for the emails and read through and keep your emails, because I'm not resending these. So
I'll just make one up. So let's say like in week 3, that we're like, hey, we're going to tackle car dealerships. Mm-hmm. So we might say, here's why car dealerships are a good fit. Here's an email template. Now, is that the same as email template number 7? Maybe, with the word car dealership replaced in it. It might not be. Or some
other change, or the way you're sending it, or who you're sending it to.
And we might take the cost seg ad on social and like literally change the background to a car dealership.
Yeah.
You can tell I wasn't involved in this at all. So I'm like, but this is an example.
Guys.
Am I close?
You're close.
I'm kind of close. Well, because we've been doing this for 23 years. I know how we do targeted focuses, and that's how the team does, because it's what works. So, if week 3 is about car dealerships, then we're going to say, here's what we're going to do, guys, gals. We're going to go out. We're going to each go get 10 car dealerships. Here's how you're going to do it. Here's all the assets. Here's an email template. Here's a script. Here's everything. Week 4, we're going to teach you how to maybe go out and get manufacturers. But part of week 4 is going to be call and follow up. Why? Because Kendra's the follow-up queen.
You don't get anything if you don't follow up. It's wasted time and effort. That is, I won't go into it, but
yeah.
You waste your time and effort. I do want to add, so Lisa asked the question.
I pre-clicked. I'll go back.
She said, I'm concerned. I accidentally hit spam. I forgive you. On one of my emails, how do I get back in? Just call support. They can actually give me authority over the phone to re-add you. And I can manually do that. You have to initiate it though, Lisa. So just reach out to support and they'll get that over to my team and we'll make sure that you start getting your emails back.
Yeah. So on to your action plan. Your action plan is pretty simple. Fancy graphic, by the way. I like that.
Thank you.
So your action items and your to-dos. Well, that's a lot of animation and click. So I like that. Here's what they are. You're going to enroll in Summer Breeze. You're going to work your 0 to hero checklist, and you're going to add July 8th to the broadcast. And on July 8th, we're doing a mini deep dive. Mm-hmm. I like that oxymoron.
Your whole summer is going to work off of each other. Each broadcast and Summer Breeze will tie everything together. So I try to give you ahead of time when the broadcasts are going to be so that you can put it in your calendar because summertime does definitely get busy. So
Heather, did someone give Lisa an answer? I don't see any. Come on, guys, you can do. I'm going to put Lisa's question back on. I'm not letting you off this line until we answer Lisa's question, and I want you to answer. Someone out there, help me out. How can you overcome the? So Lisa goes out there.
I want to answer it so
and
bad.
I know I do too, but I want you to answer. Come on, guys. So Lisa goes out there and she's trying to have a dialogue, and they say thanks, but no thanks. What would you do if you encounter that? Kendra, you can keep going, but
so July 8th. And I believe, right, yep. And then I was going to give you August real quick. Right now, August 5th. So just put in your calendar, just block the time. You'll know where to go and stuff like that. But summertime is busy. So July 8th and the August one, I think August 5th. Just go block that hour in your calendar right now so that you're with us for that time frame.
Absolutely. All right. Maybe people are typing, Lisa, I do not want to leave you.
Can I say?
Go ahead.
Ooh. Pick me. Lisa, there is a spot on the scripts page. If you scroll to the bottom, it has the most common.
I was wondering if anyone was going to get that.
The most common objections. And apparently I'm not making it obvious enough where this is at. So maybe I'll
Heather, flip to my
I'll
laptop.
make it somehow easier to find for everybody. But under verbal and SMS scripts in your marketing toolbox, if you scroll to the bottom, there's a section of most common objections or things that people could say just to get rid of you. And I think the best advice I want to give you is just be strong enough to come back with something. I think a lot of times when we get an objection and we're shut down, our first inclination is to be like, okay, I'm going to go now. No, you have to be strong enough to continue that conversation. So if the objection is my CPA handles all that, there's something to say. Or I already get that. Oh, really? How much did you guys get? So it's going to keep the conversation going. If you do it in an appropriate manner, it's going to engage them. So I recommend getting in here, taking a look at those most common objections and practicing them with somebody, because then they become second nature for you and it doesn't stop your flow.
The other thing I would add, Lisa, is that if you got that once, it might be a fluke. If you're getting that often, you might be giving up too much without intriguing them first. So, Heather, can you go back to my laptop for a minute? There's something I think you'd find very valuable on our YouTube channel, the very one you're on right now. If you go to lives, there's a live. First off, you mouse over. Heather has different hair in every single one.
She does.
So look at that.
She looks good in every one, though.
Do Heather? Look, she's
short, long, red,
she's actually
blonde.
different. Okay, sorry.
Right now she's short.
Wasn't my intent. I totally lost where I was going. So I'm looking
The
for
video.
the script, the sales script no one talks about. Seal the deal, live role play. There we go. So you're gonna go like this, and starting at 34:29. So this right here is me walking you through a live pitch, and then Kendra and I actually go through, and I love this. Let me get to it. There we go. So I actually have my iPad and simulate it because Heather's actually doing it on her computer, but I'm walking through what I would say, exactly how I would say it, and I think this is a great one, really, Lisa or anybody, for you to watch. So that is Seal the Deal live role play. Heather, I don't know if what I'm
Ron
about
made
to
a good
do.
point too. Everybody has something that works for them sometimes. If you don't use ours, find what does. His is, do you still pay taxes? I mean,
Yeah.
I would ask, what are you talking about? I would be intrigued if somebody asked me that question. So if what Ryan provides isn't working for you, figure out what does. Find your own tagline or a variation of what we're providing, but find what you're comfortable with to intrigue somebody, to pull them into that conversation.
And I think you'll find these conversations, I did like a cold one, a warm one. I think we did 2 or 3 variations of it. I like these. So that's a good one to do. And you can see the many hairstyles of Heather Trudeau if you do that. Heather, you can kill my laptop. So
This is a good one. Victor says, I assumed you would be interested yet. All I want to do now is see if we can even help you. Like, basically he's saying, I don't want to waste my time either.
I like that. He's like, now, well, of course. Yeah. I assume you're not interested yet.
That's great. Can we chat for just a minute and take a look? Like, if it just depends on what works for your personality. Here's a good one from Don. Okay, I guess you're not among the many local businesses that got their unclaimed tax credit last year then. And they're gonna be like, wait, what are you talking about? That's a good one, Don.
I like that because you're tapping into FOMO.
Yep. Exactly.
I like that. So good one. This is what I mean is that Kendra and I can get, and we can share advice all day long. I'd rather hear your advice because, Don, I'm sharing with you about paper surveys and stuff like that.
I want to add something too.
I'm showing my sales age here, and whereas Don was out there like last week, and so his advice can be really relevant there.
Jim's been around forever. Every once in a while, you might find somebody who's like, "Yeah, I don't pay taxes."
Good.
Like, yes,
Can you
stuff
tell me
like
your
that
secret?
might happen, but just keep going. Like, don't pop in and be like, I had somebody say yes, so I'm not going to use it anymore. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to have people that just shut down, but find out, use the tips that we give and find out what's working for you, for your personality and your audience. And once you do find it, you're going to just roll with it.
Yeah. So here's some other ones. So yeah, good.
You don't
good
need
stuff
cash
there,
flow? What?
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody needs it.
Yeah, I understand that interest. Yeah, I'm just curious how happy you are paying taxes with no return.
Great one, Anthony. Great one.
Yep. So really good stuff there. I appreciate everybody piping in. So, Kendra, unless you see some other.
No, I just want to say that I appreciate the engagement. Without you engaging the way that you do, these broadcasts wouldn't be half as good as they are. Do we get in here and put on a great, visual for you? Absolutely. And a lot of work.
I feel so mono-cameratic today.
Today.
Is that a word?
Yeah, I think maybe we just made it one. But I feel like without them, none of this really matters.
No, that
you know what I mean?
You're the entertaining ones.
Right. You guys bring an element that we could never bring to the table. And I have to say thank you for that. Please keep doing it because it's making us all better.
Yeah.
And let's see how great we can do this summer with Summer Breeze.
And since I'm allowed 4 or 5 seconds without copyright strike.
I knew it was coming.
I think that's it. That's it. I got to shut it down. Stop. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Don't copyright strike me. So,
you should be able to sign up for Summer Breeze in your follow-up email from today. If not, go straight to your marketing homepage and you can click on it there. Add your email to that box. It's an ugly green box on purpose so it catches your attention. And then in the next 24 hours, you will be smooth sailing.
see you next month.